Yeah, hi there. In these comments, I'm going to use your initials LPD, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And let's take a look at your situation. And by the way, I have taught quite a few students from your country of Nepal. So you say, I took the TOEFL exam 3 times, but I didn't get 80. Which is required for my PhD. You want to cross 90, which means you want to get higher than 90, right? So on your first exam, back in January 2013, you had a score of 69, so you had 17 points in the reading, 12 points in the listening, 20 points in the speaking, and then 20 points on the writing. Then the second time you took the exam, in February 2013, you had a score of 23. My goodness, much better in the reading. You had a score of 23 in the reading, 16 on the listening, 19 on the speaking, and 20 on the writing. So you had a score of 78. And you just took the test back in July 2014. You say reading is 18, listening 17, speaking is 20, writing you had a score of 22, so then you received a score of 77. Your fourth exam, now this is where I'm having trouble here. You said that you took your fourth exam 2014, September 14th. I think maybe, I don't know what that means because September is next month, so how can you have taken a test based on a date that has not gone yet? But anyway, oh wait a minute. So you're taking the exam, I got it. So you're taking the exam on September 14th, 2014. You say, what can I do to enhance my score? Please suggest. You say, even though I am from one of the poorest countries in the world, Nepal, I will pay some amount to have a greater score. I have less than a month. If you take guarantee, I'm even pliable to defer exam date. But I do not want to postpone and long to do my best by utilizing these days. All right. Okay, so the good news is my course is very inexpensive. It's also a good course. And you do most of your work online. You'll do most of it online. You'll be doing it when you have time. And then you will also be posting pronunciation, speaking, and writing practice tests for me to grade, right? So we can do this. So let me give you some suggestions here. I think that you're probably not ready by September to reach a score of 90. The TOEFL, as you know, is a journey. You don't always reach your score, as you know, the first time. And then students' goals change. They want a higher score later on, so then they study more. So a lot of the suggestions I'm going to give you right now, LPD, you can do these on your own. You do not have to pay for any online course. You don't have to go to any intensive English program. You can simply do these things on your own. I'm going to give you 3 specific suggestions that I think will help you improve. Now remember, your ultimate goal here is to get a PhD. So the question is, what type of academic English do you need in order to complete a PhD? It needs to be high. You need to have very high level English in order to complete the reading and the writing assignments required in the classes that you're going to take. So my first suggestion is quite simple. Get in the habit of reading about 45 to 60 minutes every day. You can read magazines, newspapers, and longer books. Doesn't really matter what it is, but start reading every day. Now, ideally, you can read things related to your PhD that you want to get. You can read topics related to news, culture, current events, but you should start reading immediately, every day. The main thing is, once you start reading for 45 minutes, when you start, do not stop until you've read for about 45 minutes. This is very important. It can help build your reading concentration. Number 2, get in the habit of practicing listening every day for about 45 minutes, especially since your listening score on all of your exams is not that great. You had 12 points on the listening on your first test. You had 16 points on the listening on your second test. On the third exam, you had 17, so you need to improve your listening skills, right? So every day, practice about 45 minutes. Now, what do you listen to? Okay, if you have English TV, focus on news, documentary, history, and also science programs. Now, if you don't have English TV, you want to use the internet, I have 3 specific suggestions for you. Number 1, National Public Radio. That's a great website for listening, current events, science, technology, all that. Number 2, TED Talks. This is also a very good website to help you with your listening. Now, in both cases, as you're doing this reading and listening practice, remember, this is not using my course, this is not using a TOEFL book, but it's just going through these things every day methodically, day after day after day after day. Now, as you do the reading and the listening practice, get in the habit of note-taking. You want to focus on the main and the most important supporting points of those reading and listening passages. And then, LPD. Using your notes, write 3 academic summaries each week. Each summary should be approximately 250 words. This is very, very important, very good practice. Again, 3 academic summaries each week. Now, in addition to that, you can also use your notes and you can give 3 to 5 oral summaries about the reading and the listening passages that you're practicing. Of course, now, you're not just doing reading and listening practice, you're doing note-taking practice, which is very important for TOEFL, and then you're using your notes to do the integrated writing and integrated speaking type practice for the TOEFL. So you're doing a lot of good practice by just following those 2 steps. Now, my third step. The third step here is to start studying the lessons in my online TOEFL course. Now, I'm not going to give you a specific timeline, but my best guess here, you're probably looking at, I'm guessing maybe anywhere from 2 to 4 months for you to reach your goals, so I can't say exactly, everybody's a little bit different, but I'm not going to recommend a specific study guide, but here's what I'm going to recommend for you. The first thing you want to do is go through the pronunciation, vocabulary, and the grammar lessons of my course. These are the building blocks to your academic English language proficiency. What you can do is quite simple. Maybe each day you can study maybe 1 lesson in each area. So for day 1 of your study, you can do vocabulary lesson 1, you can do pronunciation lesson 1, and then grammar lesson 1. Then the next day you can go to 2. You can do vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar lesson 2, and then so on. The main thing is if you do a variety, for example, you're not just doing all vocabulary or all pronunciation or all grammar, that usually will keep your mind invigorated and it'll keep you from burning out. So that would be my recommendations there. Now here's the key. Once you've gone through those the first 3 sections of my course, that is vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar, then you can move on to the reading and the listening parts of my course. I recommend this. You'll do once you've done the first 3, then you'll do reading lesson 1, then listening lesson 1, reading lesson 2, listening lesson 2, and on and on and on until you have completed all the lessons in that particular section. Now, some things will be easy. Some of my lessons you can get through in 10 or 15 minutes. Some of my lessons may take you maybe several weeks or maybe even a month or more. For example, one of my vocabulary lessons, it will help you learn 500 TOEFL words. That's a lesson that you begin, but you don't end quickly, but it's a process. You will continue to study the words from that lesson for the next 2 or 3 months, or until you feel you have comfortably mastered the words in those lessons. Right? So, Once you've gone through the reading and the listening, then the last thing you do is to go through the writing and the speaking areas of my course. That is the last thing you do. Remember, I put the writing and the speaking last because once you have really good vocabulary, you have great grammar proficiency, your pronunciation is very clear, you can read, your goal is about 300 words per minute, you can achieve that by being in my course, and then you also want to improve your listening. Once you've done all that, then you're ready, I think, to start meaningfully completing the writing and the speaking lessons in my course. And remember, I have over 43 independent writing practice tests in my course today. I have over 40 integrated writing practice tests in my course, LPD. And I have over 300 independent speaking practice tests that you can start practicing. So I have a lot of information here. And the good news is that you can probably reach your goal in just a few months. And the good news is it's not going to cost you a lot of money to do this. Remember that most of your study, a lot of your learning will take place by doing that reading and that listening practice, and then maybe each day you can spend maybe 1 to 2 hours in my online TOEFL course going through my lessons exactly as I suggested in this video. That I'm giving you what you can consider is a study plan. It's a study plan that's going to help you reach your goal, and more importantly, it will get you in the position where you can complete the coursework required for your PhD. You see what I'm saying? That's my ultimate goal, not just to help you get the score of 90, but when you get into the PhD program, you'll feel academically prepared, and you'll feel that you have the English proficiency that you need to accomplish the assignments in your major. All right, anyway, thank you, and thank you for sending me your message, and all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.